Good morning. We are Unitarian Universalists. Welcome to this place. This is a home where no revealed truths are promoted and no scripture or human being accepted as infallible. This is a place for searching for truth. But we are believers. We believe in intellectual freedom. We believe in justice. We believe in compassion and concern for each other and the whole world. We believe in commitment to those ideals which make us caring and active in the struggles for human dignity. We are Unitarian Universalists.
There we go. I light this chalice as a symbol of my commitment to the values of Unitarian Universalism. May its light be a beacon of hope to me and to all who seek freedom, truth, and meaning in life. So it's now going to be time for a story for all ages. So for those of you who are young and young at heart, please feel free to join me on the carpet while Hannah and Chesh read the story.
It died. It died.
Not Quite Narwhal by Jesse Sam. Kelp was born deep in the ocean. He knew early on that he was different from the other narwhals. His tusk wasn't long as everyone else's, he had different tastes in food, and he wasn't a very good swimmer. But his friends didn't seem to mind, so Kelp decided he wouldn't either. That is, until he was swept away by a strong current.
I wish I were a better swimmer.
Kelp found himself at the surface, close to land than he had ever been before.
High up on a cliff, he spotted a mysterious sparkling creature. It looked so familiar. It looked like Kelp. Kelp swam towards land as fast as he could, which wasn't very fast at all, hoping that he could catch up with the creature that looked just like him. When he finally reached the shore, Kelp felt a little bit anxious. He had never left the ocean. He was nervous about walking for the first time, but the land creatures made it look so easy. Oof. It wasn't. Eventually, he got the hang of it. Everything on land was strange and beautiful, but also kind of scary. Kelp began to think he might never find the creature that looked just like him, but as he stumbled out of the forest, land narwhals!
Actually, we're unicorns, and by the looks of it, so are you.
Kelp had never heard of unicorns before. They taught him all sorts of new things about his tusk.
We call them horns.
Wow. They introduced him to unicorn delicacies, and they showed him how to gallop. There was no doubt that Kelp was, in fact, a unicorn. He was having so much fun that he didn't want to leave. But then he remembered all of his friends under the sea. Kelp missed them terribly, so he said goodbye to the unicorns and returned to the ocean.
Come back soon.
Kelp swam towards home as fast as he could, which wasn't very fast at all, hoping that the narwhals would still like him now that he was a unicorn.
When he finally arrived, Kelp had butterflies in his stomach. Kelp took a deep breath and told his friends the news.
Turns out I'm not a narwhal.
Of course you aren't.
I'm a unicorn.
We all knew that. They took it quite well. Kelp was happy to be home, but now that he'd experienced life on land with the unicorns, he couldn't seem to forget them. He didn't want to be... Oh. Did he want to be a land narwhal with the unicorns? Or a sea unicorn with the narwhals? Kelp couldn't decide, but then he realized maybe, just maybe, he didn't have to choose.
The end.
The end. It is now time for anyone who joined us for the story to return to their seats. First year, little thoughts and little heart. The time passing seemed hopeful and gloomy. Confused, for all this time there was no meaning, just empty air, jumbled ideas. Here's this little girl with a head full of many different ideals and thoughts of judgment. Then came along a friend whom brought guidance and happiness through introducing her to a new world. A world filled with acceptance and joy. This girl came into the world of Unitarian Universalism in a time of great need. In sophomore year, she was lost, not full of any meaning for the things she was doing. She needed some guidance to make her move on and keep going with her life path. The girl looked to religion for support and meaning. She found a lot of different paths, experimenting and exercising many of the world's joys, yet landing on UUism in junior year, the one that included all the needed beliefs she was looking for. The qualities within Unitarian Universalism gave her a new path of love for herself and others. Over a long year of trying to keep herself going on her own, she found more friends to keep her seeing love in everything. On her way to her first con, going in with nerves and excitement, coming out with a lot of heartache and new experiences. Falling in love with many new people for such a little time, then leaving them for such a short time. Yet she was grateful for the chance at this heartache because it helped her find some missing pieces of herself. A new being emerged and new pieces of her started to grow. The power of others helped her define what she meant to herself and others. Fully diving into the world of Unitarian Universalism, she blossomed. Throughout her journey of being a youth in the UU world, her time is now up. This experience may seem short to some, but to me, this has been the most life-changing, heart-wrenching, joyous time of my life. The lessons of love and compassion I have learned will stay with me forever. Every part of my being is still growing, but now I have the guidance and love to help this new baby find its place in the adult world. Through all my years of living, I have never had so many feelings of greatness than when I hear opening words filled with intent and compassion. Never have I felt greater love for myself than in times of clear meditation towards kindness. I have found love and peace and new worth. I am a phoenix rising from the ashes of heartache and love, continuing to find greatness on this path of faith to find new beginnings. I now light this candle to symbolize me leaving a bit of myself with the church, and I will receive gifts from my advisors in the church.
Hi. Good morning. It's now time for our offertory. Please give freely with your hearts and with what you can. And while this happens, I will be playing on the piano a Chopin nocturne.
In the spirit of the work of this church, we thank you for your generosity. I didn't grow up in this church. I started here my freshman year. My mom had started coming a few months prior to me. She told me about the church, and even though it sounded different, my mindset was still, church. So I didn't go. I didn't grow up going to church, and from what I had heard about other churches, I wasn't very fond of them. I had this assumed idea that all churches hated people who are different. I later found out that I was wrong. One night, my mom had a few people from church over for dinner. One of them was a crazy youth advisor. His name was Eric Troberg. Troberg told me about Con and all the cool youth I'd meet. That immediately changed my mind just from that sentence. My first Sunday, I met some of the most amazing youth that later become my closest friends. People I could cry in front of, laugh with, and hug like there's no tomorrow. Then the day came, my first Con. I wasn't expecting to cry that weekend, but the speed at which I made friends and created bonds with them amazed me. After one weekend with a crazy group of teenagers, I became a different person. Con was the main reason I stuck around. I didn't really go for any other reason than my friends. I anticipated the next chance to see them. But everything changed. I didn't end up going to any cons my sophomore year, and junior year I stopped coming. Everything was falling apart for me. I didn't have the motivation for it or anything else. Sleeping in was nice too, but I missed out on so much, including some of my closest friends bridging at Con. I realized that I needed the support system that I had left behind, and I started going again for my senior year. I went to both cons, and now I'm here, bridging. But bridging isn't the end of the world as much as I'd like to think it is. For my future, I'll be pursuing dental hygiene at LCC, as well as continuing to pursue a career in music like I've always dreamed. I'll continue to keep this community as close to me as I can, not necessarily physically, but definitely spiritually. I love all my friends here, bridged or not, and I want to thank them for everything, as well as thank the crazy youth advisor who convinced me to come here. This community has changed me, and I'm not quite ready to leave it. But change is inevitable, and sometimes moving on is the way we have to go to achieve what we want.
When stepping into the role of youth advisor, I think we all step into it a little overwhelmed with the idea in mind that our job, which it is to hold space for and support the lives of our high school-aged youth, to provide enriching and spiritual experiences that help them grow and become. We see it as our responsibility to not only ensure their physical safety, but challenge the way that they see the world. And maybe in your typical religious setting, that one-way exchange is exactly how it happens, but as I think we all know, we are anything but typical. One definition of growth is the process of developing or maturing physically, mentally, or spiritually. And while as an advisor, we have all definitely held space for youth in this respect, I oftentimes wonder who grows more from the youth group experience, the youth or the adults. The very nature of the way we nurture our children in this community is based off of the idea of empowerment, of giving them the confidence to challenge what the world presents to them as truth, with the critical eye to evaluate whether that is their own truth as well. By the time they get to the youth group, they have already begun to form their own voices and their hearts. To anyone who steps in as an adult with the idea that they are solely providing the experience for the youth has another thing coming. Watching these incredible humans grow and mature and become adults has given me the unique opportunity to see the world in its current alarming and oftentimes seemingly hopeless state through their perspective, which is how I can stand up here and tell you that eventually we are all going to be just fine. If this is the generation we are leaving our world to, sorry. I have no doubt in my mind that someday very soon they are going to get loud enough in their refusal to put up with the BS that they are inheriting, that collectively we will listen and make way for them to start putting broken pieces back together to form something beautiful. Now, I realize that charging them with saving the world sounds incredibly intimidating and is a huge burden to bear. But I'm not talking about the large demonstrative acts of heroism I know that they are all capable of. I'm talking about the simple ways in which they live their daily lives. This is truly where the groundbreaking change and growth has already begun. My hope and confidence in this area is found in the effortless way these youth take issues that my generation and the generations before me have struggled to understand and totally accept it as the new normal. They are experts at growth and change. It has been found in their willingness to be open and honest with the world and let the world catch up to their perspective, gently challenging the idea that they don't yet understand the world because they are too young. It is found in the compassion that they operate with when they approach those who have hurt or disrespected them, and in the quiet strength it takes to speak their truth to somebody who doesn't understand. It has also been found in late nights and long drives spent talking about homework and college and love and relationships and struggle and parents and the cycle of feeling lost and finding yourself that repeats itself in life again and again. It has been found in the Dutch Bros drive-thru and at Burgerville, in caucuses and in the rooms and halls of this church and out in the woods. I think the thing that has changed me the most is the constant reminder that the divine and profound experiences that change us can be found even amongst the seemingly mundane. In watching games of silent football and lap tag. When washing the dishes also contains conversations about the intricacies of feeling called to chaplain someone 2 or 3 times your age, and what that means in regards to power dynamics and right relationship, you know that there is more at work than the dishwasher. If you are ever asked if you are interested in being a youth advisor, you will be told that it involves at least 2 Sundays a month with the occasional outing, event, or weekend trip. But it involves so much more. Yes, it involves some planning and leading and the occasional trip, but it also involves stepping back and letting them lead. Listening to their needs, their wants, hopes, and desires. You will soon become very attached to each of these amazing humans in a way that will change you forever. Working with our youth involves a willingness to let go of what your time on this planet has taught you in order to see what life on this planet is going to be. In Trina Paulus's book, Hope for the Flowers, one caterpillar says to her caterpillar friend, "It is what you are meant to become. It flies with beautiful wings and joins the earth to heaven. It drinks only nectar from the flowers and carries the seeds of love from one flower to another. Without butterflies, there would soon be few flowers." And while I know it sounds ridiculously cheesy, I think it's the perfect metaphor for working with our youth here. The youth being the butterflies, and the way we adults see the world being the flowers. It is the butterflies that make the flowers possible. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Amanda, and I got back from a grad night at 2:30 in the morning, so if I lose my voice, Bear with me, please. I'm a lifelong Unitarian Universalist, or whatever the equivalent is when you're not yet 19. My mom brought me to UUism when I was a toddler, and obviously, I've never left. Some of my oldest memories of church involve sitting in the sanctuary during service at our old location, with the huge windows and the trees that made it feel like we were in the middle of the forest. It was almost guaranteed that there would be a squirrel listening in on our service every Sunday. At a young age, I came to associate the trees and the squirrels with UUism. It's fitting that today, so much of my faith revolves around nature. How could it not, after attending a decade's worth of services among trees? As well as being a lifelong UU, I've also gone to Catholic school for my entire life. I can explain the significance of almost every parable of Jesus and can tell you all about the aspects of the Trinity. When I was younger, going to Catholic school was actually really difficult. I was one of the only ones at school not baptized, and I was the only kid in my 30-person class who didn't believe in the capital G God. I still remember singing Spirit of Life while coloring in kindergarten and my friend making fun of me for singing such a weird song. She was from a pretty devout, Catholic family, so it makes sense that the Spirit of Life was probably a weird concept for her, but still. That interaction, along with being the subject of my college application essay, affected how I viewed my faith. For many years, I was scared to be a UU in an environment outside of church, out of fear of judgment. I've always been proud in my Unitarian Universalist faith, but it wasn't until I attended my first Pacific Northwestern District Con that I learned it was okay to be public with my pride. I'd never seen so many UUs in my life, and it was honestly pretty awesome. At that first con, I learned how to talk about my faith on a large scale. And with those small seeds of confidence, I began to engage more and more in conversations about faith outside of church, but with my beliefs instead of the more common ones. Fast forward to now, and theology class is actually one of my favorite classes. I thoroughly enjoy being in an environment where I can discuss matters of religion and faith. My experiences with Unitarian Universalism have allowed me to explore different religions and beliefs, and I am confident in myself as a young religious Unitarian Universalist. On August 17th, I will fly across the country and begin my freshman year at Villanova University, right outside of Philadelphia. Villanova also happens to be an Augustinian Catholic school. If you had told me 4 years ago that I would be going to a Catholic college, I would have told you that you were crazy. Over the past 4 years, though, I've been able to grow in my faith and in my confidence in myself as a UU. Unitarian Universalism has always been an environment in which I could explore myself and my beliefs, and has given me some of my closest friends. I end with this. Thank you for always being a community that I could count on, for always welcoming me and everyone who steps through these doors with wide open arms. Thank you for helping me grow into the person I am today. Come on, little buddy.
It's gonna be cool. I don't know. I played this Friday night at my graduation too. My opening comment was, "I'm wearing suspenders." He's stayed in tune. Oh, I need my stand. Excuse me, sir. I got it. Excuse me. Yay! We got it. My chair? Oh yeah. No, I don't intend on doing that. Can y'all hear that? Yeah? All right. Yeah, I should probably back this up because I'm a loud singer. When Rome's in ruins, we are the lions, free of the Colosseums. In poison places, we are anti-venom. We're the beginning of the end. Tonight, the foxes hunt the hounds, and it's all over now. Before it has begun, we've already won. We are wild. We are like young volcanoes. We are wild. Americana, exotica. Do you wanna feel a little beautiful, baby? Oh, 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 oh. Come on, make it easy. Say I never mattered. Run it up the flagpole. We will teach you how to make boys next door out of bad ones. Tonight, the foxes hunt the hounds, and it's all over now. Before it has begun, we've already won. We are wild. We are like young volcanoes. We are wild. Americana, exotica. Do you wanna feel a little beautiful, baby? Oh, 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 oh. We are wild. We are like young volcanoes. We are wild. Americana, exotica. Do you wanna feel a little beautiful, baby? Oh. Tonight, the foxes hunt the hounds, and it's all over now. Before it has begun, we've already won. Thank you.
Hello again. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That was also my senior quote. As I look back over the past few years, high school's been a journey. And I know that I've grown a lot, and I know that my community's grown a lot, and for that I am grateful. Last night, I flew home from a Unitarian Universalist young adult retreat in Texas. It was incredible. I was telling Amber this morning, I'm a little mad how much I like Texas. The retreat was fulfilling, and it was a truly soul-feeding experience. It helped me overcome something that I've been worrying about lately. What is life after bridging? I've been afraid for a while now that after bridging, I would begin to feel disconnected from my faith. UUism has become a really important and empowering aspect of my identity. Over the past 5 days that I've been in Texas, I've been hanging out with 30 or so Unitarian Universalist young adults. And over those 5 days, we led amazing worships, we talked about theology, we talked a lot about life, and we swam so much. And now I am so sunburned. I built an incredibly important community and gained a new perspective on life after bridging, thanks to those 5 days in Texas and the wonderful people that I met. Being in Texas with my new community really affirmed my passion for UUism and encouraged me even more to pursue ministry later in life. On Tuesday, I will graduate high school. And in the fall, I will begin my journey in music education at Lane Community College. And in July, I'm flying to Chicago for a week for summer seminary. I'm so excited. On Wednesday, I have a job interview, and for the first time in my life, I truly feel like I'm moving in all of the directions that I want to be. In the words of Amanda Palmer, I'm exactly the person that I want to be. I'm so hopeful for the future. I'm so grateful for this community, and I'm so honored to be bridging into a wonderful young adult community. We walk this earth but a brief moment in time. Amid our suffering and pain, however great or small, let us continue to learn how to celebrate life. Let us continue to grow in our capacity to love ourselves and each other. And let us continue to move toward the goal of a just world community. Go this day in a renewed spirit of peace and hope, and with the wisdom to greet the new week. Tim Haley. Blessed be.
So we have come to that point of the service, of the bridging ceremony, that represents that crossing of these four youth from the youth group into the full adulthood of this congregation. As is often the case at points of transformation and growth, there is turbulation and roiling water beneath. So we'd like to invite continuing youth group members up to help support the four bridgers. And we would also like to invite recent bridgers to come up and welcome with opening arms into the larger congregation our bridgers. So let us span. Let us cross the bridge.
We now invite up any 8th graders in the audience to join the high school youth.
Okay, real quick before closing words, remember that the church annual meeting is right after this, so please stay and chill.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to grab one?
Yes, please. So many people. Okay.
Okay. May you be brave enough to expose your aching woundedness and reveal your vulnerability.
May you speak your deepest truths, knowing that they will change as you do.
May you sing the music within you, composing your own melody, playing your song with all your heart.
May you draw, paint, sculpt, and sew, showing the world your vision.
May you write letters, poetry, biography, slogans, graffiti, the great novel, line your bare words to love and hate.
May you love even though your heart breaks again and again.
And until the end of your days, may your life be filled with possibilities and courage.
Blessed be.
Teacher walks our head against the wall. We don't notice any time pass.